Well, let me be the first to say, what's up, ninjas?
What's up, ninjas?
Now it's garbage.
Just another movie night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We are Just Another Movie Night, and I am Scott.
And I'm Joe.
And today we are doing what we love doing, which is talking trash.
Talking trash.
Talking trash indeed. This is our show to spoil, debate, crap on, and give second chances to the hated, the lowest rated, the much debated, and the often forgotten flicks on the internet, all while asking the question, is this the worst movie ever made? And if not, what is? Because here on the show, we believe you need to know what the worst movie is, just so you can rate all movies. You know, how can you rate a movie if you don't know what the worst movie is? And you know what? This is a perfect timing to bring that up, because we have been on a long, long journey of watching the Leprechaun films for St. Paddy's Day. I feel like a terrible Irishman because something I learned this month is these movies are fucking dreadful.
How dare you?
Wow, what a ride it's been. This is the end. We're giving up. This is the last of the month. We are going back to the hood.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing today. Leprechaun 6, back to the hood.
It's the hood.
You know, I thought it was
T-H-A.
the whole time. I thought it was the hood.
I think it would have made for a better title if it was the.
Back to the hood.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. It just felt better when I saw it in this while we were watching this. I went, "Oh, it's the."
Yeah, it kind of takes away some of the appeal, some of the zest, some of the spice.
You know what though? So does the movie. What a shit show. In fact, let me tell everybody here. We started this journey by skipping over the first two, watching 3 on. Because you just kind of assume that the first 2 are like the likable ones, and then you're getting into the shit. But you know what? Before we watched this movie, we rewatched 1 and 2. And wow, did I learn a lesson on that one, because 1 and 2 suck.
I can't believe that after one, that these actually kept going.
Yeah, not only did they keep going, but somehow 3 is better than 1 and 2.
It is.
I absolutely did not enjoy watching 1 and 2 at all.
No, not at all.
And I'm shocked because this franchise, the one thing I've learned about watching this franchise is that every movie skips back and forth with problems, right? So 1 and 2 have really, really terrible characters with fighting the leprechaun. And then there's one thing that's interesting in one of the Leprechaun films, like he's rhyming or he's got really interesting kills. And then it goes back to like, nah, we don't feel like doing that ever again.
Yeah, they keep switching on and off. It's very off-putting and it's annoying as hell.
Yeah, the fact that there's no continuity. So why do they even call them Leprechaun 2, 3, 4, 5? Why? They have no continuity whatsoever, no rules, no stakes, no lore. It just keeps reinventing itself, which is the laziest shit I've ever seen. I mean, maybe it'd be even lazier to follow a continuity, but it would make for a better story, or at least a better time for us to watch.
Yeah, sometimes he gets blown up. Sometimes he gets blown out the airlock. Sometimes he
Blew up on
survives.
that one. He usually blows up.
Sometimes he makes it out alive. Sometimes, he doesn't. He gets turned back to stone or whatever. They can't keep up with anything, and they can't, follow through with like anything that they started.
Yeah, they
And
can't.
so it's like, okay, so we don't know what we're gonna get from 1 minute to the next, and it's like in this one, it's like, oh, okay, well, he just forgot that he could use powers, because in the last movie,
Yeah,
he
let's
had
talk about that,
powers.
because we already mentioned was the rhyming, right?
That's
the rhyming
gone in this.
and what we've learned, because I guess we can do this, right? Now that we've watched all 6 And the only reason we're saying we're not going further is because we're watching Davis's run as a Leprechaun. He did 6 films and then he left. And he said that he left because when he had children, he started learning that maybe horror movies weren't the best genre while he was raising his kid. But he said, maybe I'll come back to horror when my kid's 18. Then later on, he basically did an interview where he was like, I would love to come back. He says, I really enjoy doing these. They're just a lot of fun for me.
Well, that's incredible to hear because I definitely did not feel that in this particular movie.
Well, I always think that he is having a blast.
But he didn't appear to even be having a blast in this. Like, he didn't do his signature thing. Like, they completely changed him completely. Like, 100% changed him. Even his outfit was different in this.
Yeah. Well, the interview I read, he basically said that he enjoyed that each movie didn't have a continuity, that every time he reset and got to do something new and crazy and weird every time. And I get that. As an actor, it's probably always really great to do something new each time you come back. And he's like, I always love it, you know? And
that's got to be fun, but then, like, I would feel that, I mean, me as a viewer is like, oh man, that's weaker than the last one, or, you know, it's not as much fun as the last one. So he, as the actor, has to be feeling it at some point because he really had nothing to do in this.
Yeah, that's true. What we were already pointing out was that let's break it down. Okay. What we've learned is our favorite things about this franchise in particular, is his rhyming.
Yep.
It's really fun. It gives to a really great dialogue. Also, the creative kills. You know, yes. The leprechaun torturing somebody with their, like, whatever. Also, the leprechaun being able to do characters.
Yeah.
That just is fun. And also, what we have learned is that we like when he's in a situation that is wacky. Kind of lends to him being wacky. So, we really liked Vegas. It opened up a whole avenue of crazy for him. And we like, and we're already saying this, our favorite 2 movies were Vegas and The Hood.
Yeah.
The first one of the Hood movies.
3 and
5.
3 and 5.
Yeah. Well, while Space should have been great,
it should have.
It is also a disaster because, again, all the problems happened. Our favorite things were dropped. Our favorite things were both in The Hood and in Vegas. Our favorite things are all there. The other movies have none of that, and they lack because of that.
Yeah. I was so disappointed in Space because it should have been so much better. It just should have. It was just a steamy pile of shite.
Yes.
You know?
I would say that this whole franchise kind of is. It's even the one that we enjoyed and it's so bad it's good, which is the last one we watched last week, which is The Hood.
The Hood, yeah.
And it's bad. It's good in a bad way. It is a bad film, but done in such a cleverly stupid way. The same thing with Vegas.
It was really fun.
Yeah, Vegas for some reason is oddly really enjoyable.
Yeah,
I think a big thing there was likable characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm enjoying to see the characters. I think that happened in The Hood as well, where we're kind of like, some of these characters are so over the top and stupid.
Miss Fontaine.
Yeah, there's the thing. I mean, we couldn't stop laughing while saying their names, like Postmaster P and what is it?
What was it, Mac Daddy Onassis?
Yeah, Mac Daddy Onassis.
I want to say Onassis.
I'm so glad we got to bring it back because I said it at least 8 times.
You did. You literally, every time you referred to him in that podcast, you called him by his full name. Because
I can't, you gotta say the whole name. It's insane. We had to say Postmaster P a billion times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Mac Daddy Onassis.
Oh, you just said Mac Diddy.
I think I was gritting my teeth while I was saying it. Mac Daddy Onassis.
Oh, Mac Daddy.
Mac Daddy.
Yeah.
So look, and that's the problem here. Everything we loved about The Hood is gone. Now, I think over the last 3 weeks of doing the show, we joked around about how, at the end of this series, maybe they're going to shoot him into space and they're going to make it make sense. Or maybe they're going to do something to connect some of the movies. No.
No.
And so Now, this movie had the perfect setup. The last one ended where he actually wins. He is the bad guy who wins. He's in control of the hood.
Yeah, see, they keep doing that. They keep, blowing him up or burning him up or killing him somehow or stoning him or something.
Yeah, none of that ever gets explained because
No.
he either blows up in one movie and then the next movie's a statue.
Yeah.
And then this movie actually ends with him being thrown in concrete. And I was thinking to myself, well, wouldn't it be better to have him crawl out and freeze?
Yeah, because that would have actually made sense for
It would have made
being-
sense for later on.
Yeah.
And also say that this movie is a prequel.
Yes.
But then again, no medallion.
No medallion.
So-
There's no mention of any medallion.
Every movie has the same problems, right? Every movie also has an obsession with getting rid of the thing that can beat him.
Yeah.
And so in all the movies, there's a medallion. Some movies there's a medallion. Some movies there's a clover. Some movies there's a MacGuffin.
The
that's just gonna
100
stop him.
shillings that he has to collect
Yeah.
before he...
Yeah, every
you know,
movie reinvents this.
yeah.
And I don't know why. If anything, you just establish the lore a little more. This movie actually begins with like a fairy tale book explaining how the leprechaun came to be. And I went, you know what? Cool. Good on you guys to come up with a way to why this leprechaun in particular is so insane. And why isn't there more leprechauns out there? This movie actually tries to explain that
I mean,
in
it
the opening.
tries.
In the opening 5 minutes, they're just like, "Hey, just so you know, there's a whole thing where the leprechauns all got banished. They were all created to watch the king's gold, and so they came to our world to protect it. But when it was done, they were told they were basically sent back home. And so one of them didn't want to leave. He got obsessed with the gold. He basically got gold fever. Anybody's ever seen The Hobbit, right? you just get gold fever. You know?
There was a time, long ago, when evil men with greed in their hearts would lay siege to the king that possessed the ancient treasures of the Dark Ages. But the king was in league with creatures of magic, forest spirits, leprechauns. These guardians summoned from the earth to protect the gold from falling into the hands of evil men, of wicked men. The legend of their ferocity spreads through the land, and all would know not to trifle with these creatures. The king's reign would come to an end, and the leprechauns would find their home again, back in Mother Nature's embrace. Except for the myth of the one that did not go back.
Basically, throughout the generations, they saying that all the Leprechaun films basically is just this guy being obsessed with his gold, which, again, one of the things I liked in Vegas was that you could wish on the gold and get wishes, and that would cause you. It kind of made this movie mix in with the ideas of Wishmaster, and I thought, well, that's a great idea, while also being Freddy by having him change into characters and stuff like that and make funny jokes.
Right.
They kind of have the best of some of these movies they can make into one film. That unfortunately here, again, now we have a new thing. The gold chest. Well, let me just say this. In the opening of this movie, oddly, after we get a fairy tale understanding of who the leprechaun is, we see that the leprechaun is just loose and fighting a priest at a construction site.
So,
Right.
do we get any explanation on this?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was like, if all they had to do was say that this is the continuation of the hood, and that maybe a
Right.
priest fought back.
They didn't even try.
I like that you actually mentioned during the movie, you went, oh, finally a priest. And I was like, what do you mean finally a priest? He's just a leprechaun.
Yes.
He's not a demon.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, I don't know if you felt the same way, obviously not, but throughout all these movies, they gave us a feel that he is a demon. He has supernatural powers. He's murderous.
He's a
He's-
magical creature. He's a mystical creature.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't call the Easter Bunny, you wouldn't call him a demon.
I might.
He's not Captain Howdy.
I might call him a demon. The Easter Bunny's creepy.
Okay. I guess Jack Skeleton would agree, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I just think like he's magical. He's evil. I mean, he's evil. Point blank. So he could
he's
be
a
like
dick.
I
mean,
he's a murderer.
He's basically every character in this film.
Okay, I guess.
Right?
But
I mean,
okay,
you can't
let's
call the
just-
characters in this film a demon. Well, my point is, when you said finally a priest, I was like, that's funny. I don't know why, but of course, this priest has not only a spell, but also a magical vial of clover juice. I don't know.
Okay, it was holy water.
No, it was clover.
It was clover?
Yes, because the leprechaun actually says, "Oh no, damn clovers again."
Oh God. Okay,
Right.
so we don't even establish how the priest knew about the clovers would hurt him.
No establishment
There's no
whatsoever.
establishment in the scene, but it opens here with him fighting this priest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we're gonna get some kind of like answer, some story, right? Like, no.
No, he kills the leprechaun, and what happens is when he does the spell and shoots this clover liquid all over him, hands come up, which are other leprechauns bringing him back to their realm, and he's screaming, "Don't send me back! Please don't send me back!" Right? Which is okay. It opens up the idea that the leprechaun actually has feelings and all this stuff because he's never had that before. Now, what I read from the director, by the way, he hasn't done much, the director.
Well, what about the writer? Because the writer is single-handedly responsible for this trash.
Well, he's a co-writer, the director on this. So,
Well, do they have anything to do with the other films at all?
No, not that I
You
can
can
see.
tell,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, because the last two were written by the same guy and directed by the same guy. Well, the same kind of thing happened behind the scenes here. They actually had a plan to go to a spring break. The movie was going to take place on an island and a spring break. Mm-hmm. And they said, no, we want to keep it to where we were last time and do the hood again. So they kind of like had to scrap everything they had and just restart it. And then the director said, or the writer, I don't know which one, or it could be the same one, who knows. He basically was saying, you know what? I don't like the leprechaun has got too many powers because he seems unstoppable in each movie, and we have to give him a little more weight of being able to be stopped. So I want to like tame it.
Then why even start it? Like,
yeah, but then
why
it's
did
like, why reset completely? You can say that he has powers, but maybe he's weak. Or anything. They could have done anything.
I don't know. I feel like why would you even put that in the movie if you're not going to continue on with it? It's like, then that means that your movie is just, hacked up into different, whatever you want it to be.
That's
It's like you're not even following the lore, and I can't believe I'm even saying lore, but there is a lore here. I mean, they establish things and then they don't continue with it, and it makes for a messy movie.
Oh, it makes an insane messy movie. And you can see that there's legit no budget. And I didn't even look it up this time because I'm not. If I see another $1 million budget on these movies, I'm gonna punch something.
Can I look it up?
I'm afraid. Please
I'm
don't
gonna.
tell me. This
Okay.
has to be a $500,000 movie.
Jesus.
It has to. This is the cheapest shit I've seen in a long time. The transfer. Well, we got to point this out. So I think you put it on Instagram. We got a 8 movie box set. It came all in one DVD. Was like really cheap. And the transfers on these films, I don't know if it's because they've never even given a chance to transfer these movies perfectly. Mm-hmm. What it looks like they're doing is ripping from VHS. But what happens is every single movie's transfer jumps.
It
is so cheap.
My eyeballs were going bonkers, but
Yeah.
yes, the budget for this
Another $1 million.
$1.4 million.
Okay, it's less than last time at least.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still insane. I mean, I hope that Davis got at least 100,000 to do these stupid things. I hope. I don't think he'd mean much.
Okay, well, in this one, it seemed like he was just trying to get through.
Yeah. So one of the things we have to point out in this one, because it was talking about the cheapness of the film, in the opening, the priest who's fighting the leprechaun, he is swatting at rainbows. It's nighttime in what looks like LA. I think it's LA, right?
I'm
I
guessing.
have no idea. We're
I
just
don't,
guessing
we're
it's
just
LA.
speculating.
And he is in a construction site at night with a rainbow, which is like computer popped in, and he's swatting it, and he's making it go away. Goddamn rainbow, and he's getting rid of it. And I guess what this movie's trying to tell us is that rainbows make the leprechaun appear.
Well, now this is the first,
Yeah, it's the
because
first.
we have not seen in all of these movies, 5 before it, anything about any rainbow. I
No.
mean, nothing like that. The only time they mention it is in
A joke.
In a joke, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, when he sends him back, and to point out, for some odd reason, the priest who sends him back to wherever his realm is, he dies right after this fight. He like had a heart attack and dies, and he drops the vial, and now we even get it CG liquid.
Well, no, he doesn't have like a heart attack and drops dead. There's something that stabbed him or whatever, because there is blood, CG blood coming underneath the priest.
No, it was the liquid from the vial. It
Was it?
It was the clover juice.
That was excessive because there was only a tiny vial of clover juice. It wasn't that much.
It was like a gold liquid coming out of him, around him, because he like died into it.
Oh, Lord.
And we're laughing. We're like, oh man, we're in for it, because they wouldn't even, wherever they weren't able to mess with the location at all.
There were
So
only
they
3
CG'd.
locations.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They CG'd in liquid. Mm-hmm. Why couldn't they just make a real liquid pile? Like, would this be bad? No. Like, what the fuck? And the movie does that a lot. In every scene it's done, it just is that atrocious Mortal Kombat Annihilation CG.
Yeah.
It's that 90s. And this is crazy, because the movie came out in, what, 2000 something? Like,
I think it was 2003. Yeah, 2003. So,
I don't think so.
I think it's 2003.
I want to say this is 2016.
What? Get out. No. No way. It was 2003. I mean, you could tell by
You're
their
right.
clothes.
You're right.
Their
I thought it was
clothes, like-
2016. I was like, wow, didn't this just happen not too long ago?
No. Here's the thing, though. Like, there was literally only 3 filming locations, and they green screened most of this. They didn't actually film on location anywhere. I think it was just a back lot, because honestly, there's no people in this movie. Like, you would think that if this is supposed to be LA, I can assure you that there's 1 or 2 people in the background somewhere. There was no extras in this movie.
Yeah.
None. Not one. I was looking.
Yeah.
It was bizarre.
I couldn't stop pointing out this wall. There's like a fake brick wall.
Which they used throughout the whole movie.
The only thing they change is they keep changing a poster on it. I couldn't stop watching this poster.
What was it of? Because I didn't even see it.
The first one was really odd. It had some kind of weird writing. It was like Husk or something. It was written all over. It looked like wanted posters from like another movie. You know, like those old westerns with the wanted posters.
Yeah.
And then the next time I saw it, I went, that's the same wall, right? It looks just like a castle wall. And I was wondering if they were moving the set behind them. I was like, I'm trying to figure out what they were doing. I'm like, there's no way this is a real place. And then it changed what was on the wall. So I knew, I was like, okay, that has to be the same wall, but they're changing what's going on.
You're giving it too much credit for even being a wall. Okay, that was computer generated graphics. That was not a real wall.
It definitely wasn't. It was some kind of foam brick wall.
Oh my
or
God,
like a fake brick wall.
It didn't look like it.
At
looked
least that's how I
cartoonish.
saw it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Because the cartoonish stuff would be too, you know, like when you watch a Tom and Jerry cartoon and you see one plate of food is completely different colored than the rest.
Yeah.
And it all looks real except for that one. That's the one he's going to touch. That's how this movie is. You can tell when something's CG. It's so bad that it just looks like a cartoon is happening behind them.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that in this film. We get introduced to our main characters.
Okay, so the most I mean,
Help me out with this.
normal, like names you can ever imagine. We have a Jamie, an Emily, a Rory,
Lisa.
and a Lisa. Like
Who's Emily?
Emily's the main character.
Oh, okay. Who was the first one you said then?
Jamie, who is the comic relief guy.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, what's really funny is some of these actors, we know them. The more I was watching the movie, I was like, oh, another time where we didn't recognize an actor because he looks completely different. And that would be the actress playing Rory,
Yeah, Rory.
who is,
Laz Alonso.
yes, he's actually Mother's Milk on The Boys. And in 20 years, this guy changed completely. Does not look like the same guy at all.
He definitely he got better looking with age.
Yes, he
for
did.
sure. I mean, he looks completely different. And he wasn't bad looking in this movie. He was handsome, but he just got better looking with age. He's
Yeah.
one of those actors like that just, like Paul Rudd, he just ageless,
Yeah.
but he looks really good. So yeah, him, and then the main character who's Tangi Miller. I feel like that name is very familiar. We should know her.
When I looked it up, it was like a bunch of like one episode things. There's a lot of that.
She had this look on her face through this movie. It was like I couldn't take it. It was so awful. It was like those scrunched eyes, like she's annoyed and pissed off all the time, like how dare you eyes, throughout the whole
Yeah,
movie. In
judgmental.
every scene, yes,
Yeah.
the judgmental, squinty eyes throughout every single scene. Her face never changed, not once, not even when she was getting slapped around.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. She was not great in this movie.
I have
at
to
all.
point out, it's another one of those times where the side character is better than the main character, and you're wondering why they didn't switch the actors.
Yeah, so the character of Lisa, who is
Yeah, it was by far one of the best characters in this movie. Does not last long in the film, but is a main character.
yeah. Now this is just some craziness. I couldn't even. I just couldn't get this through my head. When I looked up this actress who plays Lisa, she's the friend, one of the four main characters, and her name's Sherry Jackson. Now her IMDb picture looks absolutely nothing like what she looks like in the movie.
We had to look at these pictures back and forth because she looks like a completely different woman.
I don't understand. Like, were they trying to make her look different?
Maybe she is, a mixed nationality, and because she looks like a complete white woman in the photos on IMDb, which was the confusing part of it.
Yeah.
And we didn't know, it didn't seem that way in the movie.
The bluest eyes, the
Yeah.
straightest hair.
So maybe. I couldn't find any information about her.
I mean,
She's a voiceover actress, done a lot of video games and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Psychonauts and Toe Jam and Earl and all this kind of stuff. I definitely know, but we like her in this movie.
I really do.
Yeah,
she's
she was-
beautiful, and she's like likable, a very likable person.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked her better than I liked the main character.
Oh,
for sure.
absolutely. That's what I was saying. I like the main character. Like, the main character is fine, but to me, it's not that I hated her. She has a terribly written character.
She is. I had trouble understanding her character, but then again, what are we watching?
True.
Like I don't need
The
to understand these people.
The characters they suck. But, like, the reason we like the Lisa character is, like, she's the best friend, the nice one, the one that's always got the funny one-liners, and she's, these horror movies, they always have that one best friend that's there for you for everything,
Yep, ride or die. Yeah,
ride or die. They always have them, and they always get fucked over.
Of
And
course.
you always kind of like those side characters the best.
Of
And
course.
that is this character, and I think that's why we liked her so much. And we've got to point out the other characters. So, in our four main characters, you mentioned the comic relief, the stoner best friend.
His name is Jamie. Now we always have a stoner in these
Always.
movies. There's always of the main characters. We have every single cliche
Yeah.
involved in all movies that we watch, whether it's horror or whether it's like 80s or whatever. There's always that cliche where we always have one of those, and he is it. And his name is Jamie. And, he had some funny scenes.
Yeah, we know him. We didn't mention where we know him. He is in a lot. He's actually a rapper, and he also was in the Meg films. Both Meg films. Meg is a rare movie where every character comes back. Usually that never happens. Usually they just take the big lead and they put him in a new situation where he's fighting the new same or bigger threat. In the Meg films, they keep bringing every single character back, except I think in the second one they killed off the female lead.
Yeah, that was stupid.
It was stupid.
But I mean, he played DJ in the Meg movies.
Yeah.
His name is Paige Kennedy. He's funny. He's very likable.
He's actually funny. He might be a little too stereotypical and over the top in this film.
Everybody is though.
Yeah, this one, and it's not even done in a funny way. A lot of this is done in like, no, we're being serious.
Yeah.
Which is very off-putting.
I think that this movie took itself way too seriously.
Way too seriously. Like, it thinks we care.
Right.
Which, I mean, like, you kind of want to care about your characters, but not when they're so one-dimensional.
Well, see, that's the problem. See, we had just come off Leprechaun in the Hood, and we know that they weren't being, serious. They weren't taking themselves seriously. I mean, Lep was rapping. There were,
And that's why it was so fun.
so much stuff, so much, fun stuff in there.
Yeah.
But this one, it wasn't going for that same tone at all. It was completely tonally different. And you could feel it within seconds of the movie starting.
Yeah.
And then, we meet our leads, and immediately you feel like, okay, this whole entire movie is going to take place in this very same location.
So true.
Because they didn't have anywhere to go. That's why I feel like it was like a back lot, because it was like a construction site.
Well, yeah, that was the funny thing. The priest died in that construction site, and we're jumping forward in time. The construction site was supposed to be for like the youth of the area.
It was going to be a youth center, yeah.
But what's really funny is that it was just left abandoned. So it's just sitting there.
Right.
For some reason, because the priest died on that spot and whatever event had happened, it went bankrupt. And maybe it was because they were using the leprechaun's gold. I guess that was a suggestion there.
I'm going to assume that was what it was.
But
yeah.
then why wouldn't anybody else buy the lot?
Well,
Like, it's just so odd. Like, it just sits there. And our main characters, like an afternoon special, walk out to look at it and think fondly on it. And they're basically doing in an afternoon special, like, why is our life so bad? Why have we made bad choices? How come we can't get out of the hood? I'm like, holy shit, we're in
Yeah.
for nightmare level writing in this one.
yes.
And if even more cliche, they work at the barber shop. They work at the hair salon, of course, right? And every stereotype is in the hair salon.
Yeah, but we should say that, our main character, who is Emily, is trying to save up to go to college. Now, can we just pause a moment?
Can we talk about how we know she's going for college, though?
We know she's going to college
Why did we find that out?
because she's counting money at the hair salon.
Yeah, she's counting a huge stack of money at
Huge
the hair
stack
salon.
of money,
in
and-
front of every customer.
yeah.
Yeah. Do
And
you think that's a wise decision?
No.
Yeah.
But of course there's some smart mouth, snotty bitch that has some kind of, commentary to say to her, and she's all like, "Oh, what you doing with all that money, Emily? What are you gonna, And Emily's like, "Well, I'm saving for college." Now, can I just say, this woman is no less than 35 years old, okay? I don't care. There is no way that she is fresh out of high school, going into college. And can we just talk about...
I wish you were waited for that one. Yeah, we find out at the end.
Okay. But, I mean, just looking at her. She
Yeah.
does not look...
No, I know, but
Like
we
she-
don't find out how old she's supposed to be until way later.
Right, but I mean, if you just look at her. Also, can we just say that she lives in a house? A house.
Yeah, she has a house.
Uh,
Or an
okay.
apartment, I mean.
She has roommates, I guess. She's living there with,
I think she might be living with Lisa.
she's living with Lisa. And then, what's his face lives there too, right?
No,
Doesn't he? The
No.
weed head? No?
I don't think so.
All right, well, let's just assume the two of them. Now, she works at a freaking hair salon. I mean, I'm sure that she's not able to pay the rent by herself. We don't know what Lisa does. Does she do hair? I have no idea.
Yes,
So-
Lisa and the Emily girl both work at the hair salon. And then, like you said, the Statler and Waldorf characters are like ragging on her. Right.
Yeah.
And one of them owns the place and is her boss.
Yeah,
And I'm
so,
like,
like-
what an asshole.
Yeah, I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why are you being such a dick to this girl?
And they're making fun of her because she wants to better herself. Of course, right?
course.
Yeah. Oh, how dare you? You're going to leave. You're going to go to school.
Yeah.
What do you think? You're special?
And we learn that, so I guess Lisa also is trying to go to school.
No, not
Right?
necessarily. I think she's just helping her friend. She's basically just there for her and like, hey, I don't know if that was her ideal thing. It wasn't really say. It was just that was the main character's goal. I couldn't tell you. I don't think so. But there's also we meet the asshole girl. There's always like that one character who's the asshole girl. She walks in to get her hair done and is yelling at everybody.
Yeah, the entitled little snot. She actually ends up being a character in this movie.
She's actually in a
So-
lot too. She's a voiceover actress as well. She just was in the new DC animated films doing the
Oh.
voice of Vixen.
She's pretty though.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, that's one thing definitely. That everybody's pretty.
Yeah, everyone's
Yeah,
pretty.
everybody's pretty in this. Well, except the two women yelling, making fun of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went out of their way to make them look annoying.
Yeah.
That woman comes in and she's like an asshole, and the connection, of course, for some reason that we're meeting these characters, the connection is that the girl who came in to get her hair done is the new girlfriend of the main girl's, Emily, ex-boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And the connection again is that his name is Rory, and that's the guy who plays Mother's Milk. He is a drug dealer, and he's connected to what's his name in this? The Jamie.
Jamie.
His name is DJ? No, that was
No,
in Meg.
Jamie. I think his name is Jamie. Hold on.
No, that's the actor's name.
That's the actor's name. You're right. Excuse me, Paige Kennedy. His name is Jamie in the movie.
Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I can't believe
Yeah.
they didn't give him a funny name.
Right,
This,
because
this
he's
is
the
the character
comic
should be like
relief.
Shaggy or Scooby.
That's what I was saying. Is like they're
Yeah,
they're such normal
Such
people
a weird name that you chose for him.
each weird, like they all have their own quirks, you know. So they should have like, funny nicknames or something.
think they would.
Don't.
Because of the last one, we're so used to all the funny names. But yeah, the Jamie, of course, is the stoner who buys his drugs from Rory. But for some reason, I think they're supposed to be childhood friends. And then Lisa is the girl that Jamie likes. So
Yes.
there's a huge circle going on here of our main characters. And the only other people you need to know about is that Jamie owes money to a bunch of drug dealers.
Yeah, so this is the funniest thing ever. Okay, so as if we already didn't have a lot of, cliches going on in this
Yes.
movie, we end up with a lowrider hydraulic vehicle rolling up, and the thugs come out. Now, how do we know they're thugs? Because they're wearing tracksuits.
Yes. Though, yeah.
Those like popular tracksuits in the 90s that Paris Hilton used to wear.
Full tracksuits, full car of people. I mean, every seat is taken.
Yeah.
I mean, this is packed car of gangsters.
Yeah, so they have to shake Jamie down because they want their money. So they do all the cartoony cliche things. They tip him upside down and try to get his pockets, all the change to fall out or whatever. They steal his shoes.
It's so odd what they're doing to this
And
guy.
it's so over the top too. It's like, however they could be that much extra, they go that extra mile to be that much extra.
We have to talk about the one guy, the main gangster. He's got I don't know. He's got the second gangster that's his his friend,
Right hand man.
and his name is Cedric in the movie, but he's the rapper that's playing him. His name's Sticky Fingers. Now we got to talk about his sweatband on his head in this movie. We could not stop laughing about this headband. He wears, I shouldn't even call it a headband. He's wearing it as an eyebrow ear band.
You said to me these words, Joe, is that how a sweatband is supposed to be worn?
Is a joke. I was kidding.
And I said, Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, usually that's for the forehead where the sweat is coming from.
Yeah, no, he literally has it over his eyebrows.
His eyebrows.
And his hair, it
It's
it
in
looks
his ears.
so funny. And the reason that I know you're bringing this up is because, like, there could not be more ridiculousness. And it's, they go that extra mile
Yeah.
just to add the ridiculousness in there.
What makes me laugh about it the most is I can't tell if anything's supposed to be funny in this movie.
But see, that's the thing. It's taking itself way too seriously.
That's
They're
why
just
I'm like,
adding in these cliches because they feel like they have to for whatever reason.
that's not exactly what I'm getting at.
But
Like,
it,
is anything funny? Am I supposed to laugh at this headband on this guy? Or did he really choose to wear it like this?
I feel like he chose to wear it like that. And the only reason I even laughed was because you
Jesus
brought it
Christ.
up. So I would have never laughed
I
if
couldn't
you,
stop staring at it.
if you hadn't brought it up. But I did have an issue with the wardrobe choices on the women in this movie. I mean, if you could get any more late 90s going on in this, oh my God. I mean, everything was just a bra. You know, like the midriff was out.
Yeah.
They were all dressed like they were all going to the club, but meanwhile, they never left this one apartment. It was like they never left this one area.
Yeah.
But they were all dressed like they were going out to some dance club. It was so extra.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for the fellas, it's okay to look at belly. Because everybody's got flat stomachs.
Oh, no, they all
and
have
the women
beautiful
have
stomachs.
Stomach showing.
Oh, yeah, they all had beautiful stomachs. Yeah.
Yeah. Super skinny. Everybody is super skinny. There's
Mm-hmm.
like one body type on these three women.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of crazy. They all kind of share the similar body type.
Yeah, they were
type.
all thin, like athletic kind of looking.
Yeah.
And
Not big hips or
No,
anything.
very,
Just
very
all
pretty.
Exactly, like very similar to each other in that sense.
yeah.
And then the guys are all bundled, like they're
Okay.
in Chicago.
Now that's what I was gonna bring up to you, okay? Because we're talking about wardrobe here. That this is supposed to be. We're guessing this is Los
I just
Angeles.
assumed.
I mean,
I assumed it was some kind of L.A. type of thing, or
I mean, I think
some
that's
kind of California situation.
There was always sunshine. I could say that in
Yep.
the movie.
And there always seemed like the streets, the color format of the film seems like it's very yellow, so it seems like it's very bright. Palm trees, I believe.
Their wardrobe would suggest that they are not in LA because they were literally wearing velour tracksuits with a shirt underneath.
Yeah.
You can't wear that shit in California. Like, you just can't.
The
You'll
Rory
die out
character
there.
is wearing the heaviest jacket.
The heaviest. Like, okay,
on
first of all,
himself.
can we just talk about how everything on him always matches? I mean, it's just the wardrobe. I'll say this, okay? They put more thought and time into the wardrobe in this film than they did the plot, any dialogue.
We haven't even started talking about the movie, really.
I mean,
Well, let's
there's
just
other things at hand here.
there's other problems to
Don't
talk
make
about.
me laugh. Oh, God.
So the characters were established in the movie. They just established the characters. She wants to go to college. One's a drug dealer. One likes smoking pot. The other one's a friend. That's it. They go to a psychic, and the woman, you know, it's kind of like a joke, like she's a fraud, but she really does know stuff. And when she grabs her hand, she sees glimpses of the future.
I see peril coming. Danger awaits you. Rory?
Is that why we came here?
Hush, Linda.
Lisa.
You suffered a great loss, like so many other times in your life. It began with the loss of your parents, and it has come to this. The nest egg you have created is gone, along with the bird that stole it. I see wealth in your future. You'll come into it very soon. Oh, child. I speak of riches beyond your wildest dreams.
Sounds good.
But it must be denied, for it will come at a high price.
Wait. Why it got to be denied?
At what price? The very fabric of your essence will be torn apart. It must be denied. Heed my words, Erica and Linda. An evil so dark will come to eclipse
and little flashes of the future. And she's like, you're gonna come into a lot of money, but at a great cost. You're gonna, a lot of things are gonna happen.
That was pretty dead on balls accurate.
Yeah, and so they naturally go have a barbecue at the construction site.
Why not? Because there's only 2 filming locations that we can possibly use.
Women. Women love to have a barbecue for themselves in a construction site. What the fuck?
Okay,
all right,
can we talk about this? Where's the food?
They
didn't have any food.
They were like flipping burgers on the grill. I didn't understand. They had a grill in the construction site, and it was sitting in like those those funny fold out chairs. With the one like the yellow and striped and everything.
Most people have barbecues in like a park, not a condemned construction site. Yeah. And the reason I say condemned is because our lead, Emily, decides she's going to go for a little, I don't know, 3-4 step walk.
Oh, before that happens, though, we gotta get into it a little bit.
What did I skip over?
The other characters show up.
Oh, Rory.
Oddly, Jamie comes and he's all about smoking pot. But also we find out he's all about Lisa, and that's like the running joke. But he also invited Rory, his drug dealer. Now, okay, we already know that he and Emily have a history. Yeah. They're not on good terms. Well, she's mad. She automatically starts walking away. Yeah. She walks so far away that a rainbow comes down in front of her, and she naturally doesn't say, holy shit, there's a rainbow in front of me on the floor. She just walks around and dances in it. I mean, okay, because that happens every single day. Yes. Where you can just dance in a rainbow. That happens. Yeah. She's very mad at Rory. And you know what? Rory is a complete asshole. Right? He is, though. We got to watch. Rory's big thing in this movie is he is a drug dealer. Rides a motorcycle. That is virtually his character. And he's got his girl, And he's dating he's with that other girl who when he drops her off, he looks back at Emily from across the street and just gives her a look like, eh. And then he makes out with his chick. Yeah. Like, it was just like a big F-U. I was like, I don't like this guy already. Yeah. He thinks his shit don't stink. I don't like him at all. And he constantly tells Lisa to shut the fuck up. Yeah. He constantly says stuff to her, and I think he calls her bitch a couple times. He says F you, that's for sure. I remember that. And I was like, this guy's a scumbag. And Emily's so hung up on him that she's always mad at him and is just like, ugh. And she has her stink eyes on. And she said, everybody told me that I shouldn't like you because you were bad news. Yeah, well, and he's like, I am bad news. He admits it. She walks away from him so much because she's so mad that she collapses into, they're at a construction site, guys. Yep. So naturally, she falls to the ground at a construction site, and there's an entire area underneath the construction site. In fact, there is a doorway that, when opened, goes to a magical field. Is that going to come back? No. Is it going to be a part of this movie? Nope. In fact, they don't care about that magical field door anymore because they find a treasure chest of gold, all the shillings. And when she fell through, Rory came to come down. He came down to find her and help her back up. And they find the gold. And the next shot is they're not at the construction site anymore. They're in their house, which it seems like a house and it doesn't seem like an apartment, but it has to be an apartment because it's in the city. I don't really understand it. They show the front of it. It's a house. It's a house. It's so weird. But she is telling them, it's a pretty nice place, by the way. Mm-hmm. And there is no parents. I don't know whose house this is supposed to be, but they're in it. And Emily is explaining how there is at least, well, she says there's so much gold here. And Rory says there's at least $1 million worth of gold. And she says, that's great. There's enough for everybody. Now, here's mistake number 1, okay? There is no way in hell that this girl who can't stand this guy because he broke her heart or did whatever, she's going to give him $5, let alone a piece of that pie. Which is $250,000 if they have $1 million. And the other 2 clowns weren't even there when she found that chest. So why would she even be, I mean, I can understand her giving her friend a couple of bucks. Okay,
because she's her friend. But the other guy, the freaking, pothead, why is he entitled to any of the money?
Yeah.
He's
And
not.
She kind of gives them rules, too. She's like, Rory, I want you to finally make that change that you need to make.
Yeah, do the right thing, she says.
Do the right thing. And then she tells Jamie, don't buy Bud.
Yep, and then she tells Lisa, you can, what did she say? Buy a car now so you don't take the bus to work anymore.
But naturally, the next shot is them all spending the money on themselves in the worst way possible. Now, Emily wants to go to college. She was saving for it.
Yeah.
$250,000, they can get a place and go to college somewhere and get the fuck out of this town. The same thing with this one guy is being hassled by the drug dealers. Get the fuck out of Dodge. Leave.
Right. They have all this money.
$250,000.
Yeah.
The same thing with the drug dealer. Like, that's his thing or whatever. What we see is them going on lavish spending sprees, all alone. The Jamie guy buys 2 garbage bags
Full
of
weed.
pot. And there's a shot where he's walking in the street and kids are trying to steal it. Like he has some kind of toys.
Like, it's like dangling, like, it's like Wonka dangling, like, candy in front of all the kids, or like an ice cream man driving by.
Yeah.
Something like that.
They're
where
all like jumping for joy.
Yeah, like, okay, what is happening, first of all?
I don't
and
know.
Also, you see the 2 girls, Emily and Lisa, on a shopping spree, going out and buying, like, ridiculous dresses and stupid shit. And I feel like, okay, I did actually root for these characters a minute ago, because I was like, okay, they're just trying to, go somewhere in life and do better. And they're going out shopping and buying trash.
Yeah, I was like, are we supposed to enjoy these people? Like, they had goals, they had dreams, and now they threw them out and with like no thought, not even a conversation. They don't even mention it again. And we get these weird established things too. The drug dealers, for some reason, hassle Rory. I guess they're not drug dealers. They're some kind of like, I don't know who they are, because Rory is the pot dealer. So I don't know who these guys are. Like, they're some kind of gang.
They're like a gang. But can I just say one more thing? I'm sorry. How did they turn in that gold? Now,
that's a huge question.
Are they buying dresses and getting their nails done with shillings?
We keep seeing them get cash, but we never see who they're selling the gold to.
Right, okay.
And they never sell all the gold together. You would think that they would have sold it to somebody for $1 million and they split the $1 million. Instead, we keep seeing them have the shillings.
Yeah.
Which I was very confused about. Like, where's this money coming from?
Right.
Who's buying it? Wouldn't somebody be like, where's this gold from?
Yeah. It's a little sus.
It's odd.
But
yeah, the gang is hassling Rory, where he goes and attacks them. He does. In this movie, he has this one move. He gets on his motorcycle like he's going to ride away, but he comes back and hits people with a bat. That's his thing. That's it. He does that a lot in this film.
He could literally just ride out of town and never look back ever, because he has $250,000.
Yeah.
No.
But naturally, his $250 spending is a brand new gun, which is in a Macy's bag, which I laughed at.
Was it a Macy's bag?
I'm just kidding. It's one of those handheld bags that you see in these cliche.
Like he got at the gas station?
No. Gas station? I said Macy's. You went to the gas station? A plastic bag? No. When you see a cliche of women going shopping, they always have those multiple Macy's-like bags, or those expensive bags with the plastic handle. And he takes his gun out of one of those bags after he just went shopping with his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And I was like, where did they went to the gun store? Was that a fancy gun store that they went to?
It must have been.
He is spending all of his money on his girlfriend. His girlfriend is getting all this stuff. Although he seems to still care about Emily, he just is having good time. We keep cutting away to him having sexual escapades with the girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't know why we need to even see it.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
And she takes his shillings and gets it melted down into a gold tooth. There's a whole scene of her getting a gold tooth for no reason.
You know what's amazing about this scene is that we were laughing because, first of all, I don't know what dude is literally doing this for her in front of her eyes, melting down the gold and making a tooth. This is all happening in front of her. Mm-hmm. And she pops the tooth in, and she's like, "Oh my god, I look so good!
Yeah.
Look at this, I look so good!"
Right in
and
her
I was like,
big front tooth.
"Oh my god!" I was like, "This is just." I'm like, "What is happening? Why do we need to see this?"
It's so crazy. Like, I can't believe this is a thing.
Well, the stuff they wasted time on in this film,
Yeah.
they took away from Warwick Davis. Like, they took away from him.
Well, let's talk about that because now he finally shows up in the movie. And
Yeah.
I guess, oddly, Jamie decides to have a party. Apparently, he lives with his mother because there's a scene where he smokes pot and he finds that Rory's been giving him weed with four-leaf clovers in it.
Yeah, why?
I don't know. And he goes and confronts Rory before they were rich, and he confronts him about it. And it's supposed to be this funny scene where some white dude comes and it's like a business guy, and he comes over and buys weed from them, and he learns that you can't say the N-word. You have to say ninjas.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, my ninjas?
No one says that word anymore, they said.
This movie was trying to get ninjas passed. He has four-leaf clover marijuana, which is really odd. And also, when he gets all that money and he can buy weed, he doesn't buy it from Rory. He buys it from someone else.
Yeah. I'm like,
And
okay,
I was like,
why are you establishing this then?
It's so odd. And you think that he would just be like giving it back to Rory. Or you think that when they said, don't get buy any bud with it, Rory would have been like, hey, you're taking money out of my mouth, you know?
Yeah.
So Jamie decides to throw a party. And now his mother has disappeared from the film. Because there's a scene where his mother catches him smoking pot.
Mm-hmm.
And then she leaves. You never see her again. He throws this huge party in his house. It just looks like an apartment room. And everybody comes there to dance. And the girls, Emily and Lisa, they get so dressed up.
Okay, this is... I don't know where they think they are. But literally, they both look like they were in like Studio 54 in like 1980. It was ridiculous. I'm like, you're literally in someone's apartment. What are you wearing?
Yeah.
And it was just like the one was wearing just a bra. I was like, oh my God.
Naturally, Rory brings his girlfriend and they just are dancing, and the camera work here is so bad. Like, they keep doing this thing where they fade into the next shot, which is the same thing. Mm-hmm. And it just keeps fading into it. Like, one moment they look like the two girls are going to fight, then they're just dancing. And that happens. Anyways, Jamie's showing off all of his bongs to a guy that randomly shows up in the movie, and he's a stoner. Jamie leaves the room. I have no idea why or where he goes. And the other guy just starts smoking pot out of the bongs. The Leprechaun shows up now.
Yeah, but this is what I was very confused over. Okay, like, first of all, there's a knock at the door.
Yeah, the Leprechaun is very polite.
He's knocking at the bedroom door where this guy is in there smoking weed. Why are you knocking?
We don't even know how he knows about it. We don't know why he knows to go here. If it's like a sensing of the shillings, it's not though, because the shillings would have been given to other people, sold off.
Right.
Yeah, and so he has just shown up. Like, we see that he was brought back when the shillings were taken out of the box.
So how does he know where Jamie lives?
But
like, how does he know?
If he got sent to another dimension, another realm, why the fuck is he now called back? Why is the gold even in existence? Like, it doesn't make any sense why the rainbow still works. None of that makes any sense.
None of it makes sense.
But he's just back, and now he's knocking at doors, and that's when we find out he has no more rhyming. In fact, he hardly speaks in this movie. 2, he has no powers.
No powers, and
He's also dressed like he's in a...
like a steampunk.
I was gonna
some
say
kind of like steampunk era.
I was gonna say he looks like something out of the Umbrella Academy, something Gerard Way would have wrote or had on his stage.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see.
You know, like he's got the black hat, he's got like dark outfit, and he's got long red hair this time.
It's the worst wig of all time, but that doesn't even come close. Hold a candle to his fucking makeup. What are they thinking?
Some of it looks good, and then when you get, and the camera is unforgiving in this film, so when it gets close to his face, you can see the rings around his eyes where
Yeah.
the latex ends.
his
and his
actual
regular
face
eye
begins.
It's so bad
It
looking.
was
It's so
very
evident.
bad. It was so bad.
Well, anyways, the leprechaun is back to smoking pot, though, because he gets very excited to smoke pot. No great quotes.
No one-liners, nothing.
No friend with weed is a friend indeed.
none of
Nothing
that.
fun. He just sits down and starts smoking pot.
Oh, this is some good shit. Oh, no. Yo, what's up, little man? How you living, dog? Oh, no. Hey, you want a hit, man? You want a hit?
Yeah. I haven't smoked a good pipe in a long time.
Keep going. Now let go. Yeah, you like that, huh?
That's good shit.
Good shit, nigga. It comes straight from Korea. I mean, this ain't gonna stunt your growth or anything, is it?
This is where I realized everything with the leprechaun is supposed to be a joke, like a kid's film. It's really odd because he's doing a lot of falling down in this movie, just like, ooh, and he just falls down, and it's supposed to be a giggle. None of it is funny whatsoever. It's actually kind of off-putting if you watch the series.
That's another thing. He gets bonked on the head, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He falls down. Like, it's almost like he's in a drunken stupor.
Yes, he's always high from this moment on.
And he doesn't have any of those badass moments where you're just like, oh my God. Like, he has one or two, scenes where he's actually committing true violence, but
it's so bad.
It's so bad that you're automatically taken out of the whole thing, and you're just like shaking your head.
Yeah, and that happens right here because the guy who's smoking pot has found a shilling in the room and stole it. So it falls out of his pocket while he's smoking pot with the leprechaun, who instead of looking for his shillings is just smoking pot. And when the shilling falls out, that's when he realizes, hey, where'd you get the shilling? That's one of mine. Gold. And the other guy's like, hey, you're trying to steal money from me. I thought I was giving you free weed. I thought you would be cool. He hits the leprechaun, but the leprechaun takes the bong and shoves it into him apparently. And we only see that the bong is now sticking out of his chest. There's no gore. There's no you don't see the stabbing. The shots are really, really badly done, and it's always offset. Like this was made for TV.
It's always off camera. Yeah. Always.
And that guy just dies. Now, this is where the leprechaun naturally should have go into the party and kill everybody and get his shillings and stuff like that. No, he just disappears. He leaves. And they find the dead body, they scream, and that's when we meet the racist cops.
Oh, for God's sake. Like, I made a joke. I'm like, because there's always that cliche black cop, and then there's that cliche white cop. And I made the joke when we saw them because I knew it immediately. I said, I hate my gums because they're black.
Yeah.
That's from... It's Don't Be a Menace to South Central.
Yeah, which is one of the funniest movies.
It's one of the funniest movies. So I had to make that joke because this guy was literally that cop.
Yeah.
And then you had the racist white cop, of course.
Of course.
Oh my God.
Yeah, being so typical and terrible police officers. They keep shoving everybody, but they did find the weed upstairs and they arrest Jamie. Doesn't matter. He's not arrested. We'll see him again in the next scene.
Yeah, it's okay. He's fine.
Yeah, and for some odd reason, although he's a complete idiot who's got no goals, no money, no nothing, Lisa decides she likes him now and she kisses him.
Yeah.
And he tells her before...
I'm sorry. These are things we don't need. Like why are you showing us this?
Yeah, it's odd.
You know?
And before Lisa kisses him, he actually says, I can't go to jail. I don't want to get my salad tossed. And she's like, oh, this is a great moment to kiss you.
Oh my God, yeah, so romantic.
Yeah, so romantic. I don't know. They're like, they don't know about the leprechaun. They just know there was a murder.
Yeah.
And I don't really know why. I don't really understand any of this. But the leprechaun, he starts going after them, but slowly. Like he just shows up randomly. He shows up at the hair salon and attacks.
How does he know?
I don't know.
How does he know where they live? How does he know when to show up? I'm just having a hard time. He honestly doesn't know at all that they have divvied up the Shillings.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that.
He doesn't know. He seems to know. He keeps mentioning how they all did.
Yes, but how would he
That's
ever
what I'm
know
saying.
that? Because one
It's
girl found
weird.
the trunk.
Yeah.
One girl, Emily, found the gold trunk. So how would he even think? How would that be an idea in his head that these people divvied up the money?
It's
It makes no
almost like
sense.
they're constantly referencing the fact that he can sense who it's been passed to, but they don't really tell us this.
He doesn't utilize any power whatsoever. He doesn't. There's no rhyme or reason to anything that he does. It's like, at least in the other movies, he would use his powers. He would make things funny. You know, like in Leprechaun in the Hood, you know, he made the guy hold the gun to his friend's head. He made things happen.
Yeah.
In this, there's none of that.
Yeah, in fact, his go-to move is stabbing people or punching people in chest. And so you don't have to see any special effects.
Now,
And
the
that is-
hand-to-hand combat.
Also, yeah, also his Superman jumping into someone's face. That's it.
Yes.
That's
now,
all he does in this movie.
I don't want to be disrespectful to, little people or Warwick Davis. However, now we're talking about people getting punched in the face that are at least 5'8", 5'9", probably upwards of 6 foot tall. Warwick Davis is small, but they show him many times in this film punching people in the face without exerting any kind of he's not even trying.
That's a thing with this movie is they say he has no powers, except he is superhuman because he is able to punch through people's bodies constantly.
Right, but I mean, in order for him to be able to punch someone in the face standing up, that person would have to bend down.
I don't remember anybody being punched in the face.
Oh my God!
There's the
girl-
Superman punches constantly.
The girl gets punched in the face at least 3 times, Emily, and then he also beats the crap out of Rory. Beats the crap out of him. Punches him repeatedly.
Yeah, but there's a reason. We'll get to that. Back to the hair salon real quick. He decides he wants to give a massage to the one woman that's at the hair salon. Apparently nobody's working at the hair salon but Emily, and there's one customer.
Yeah.
And she is in this hair salon also is a massage parlor?
Yeah, why not? I mean, they do have full service salons. Let's just go ahead and say that's a
And
thing.
she's on the table, and it's the one that was heckling her from earlier. And the Leprechaun is cheeky, so he's just like, you know what? I'll give this woman a massage. So he massages this woman until she realizes it's the Leprechaun, and he breaks her neck.
Oh, you got magic in those little hands.
Yeah. I've always had a way with the ladies.
That's it. There's no point. There's nothing cool. There's nothing funny. There's no jokes. There's nothing.
There's
He kills
nothing.
her by snapping her neck from behind. Nothing.
That's 2 kills already that,
Yeah.
mean nothing.
And Emily sees it and she runs off. And this is one of those, actually probably the funniest moment in the entire film. He attacks Emily and she's able to stay a plugged in hair clipper she slams it into his eye. So he gets up and runs after her, and it's still plugged in, so it pulls him back and he falls down. And I laughed. I was like, okay, that looked funny as hell.
Yeah, your laugh was really loud. It scared me. It was like, I jumped. So I was like, wait, okay. This is, all I kept thinking when I saw that scene was, okay, this is the 900th time he's lost an eyeball in
That's
this series.
true. In the series, he loses eyeballs a lot.
Always losing an eyeball. Always.
Shockingly, no one dresses in drag in this one, because that's been a theme.
No, I miss Fontaine.
You forgot also, don't forget about the sergeant. Also in space. He's also in drag.
in space.
So yeah, she stops him. She runs off. She goes and tells everybody. Does anybody find the body of the woman?
No.
No. Is there an investigation? No.
No.
Doesn't matter. Moving on. The gang to get together and they're like, hey, the Leprechaun. There's a little guy coming after me for his gold, and they don't give a shit. They really don't care. And the Leprechaun starts going for random people again. So he goes and kills the girlfriend of Rory by apparently off screen rips out her jaw to get her gold tooth.
Yeah, and this is like yet another scene where we're like, okay, how does he know where they live?
Yeah, who knows? And really funny is that she's like, "Oh, I'll give your gold back," and she grabs a shotgun. She has a shotgun, and she's just like, unloading on this guy.
Yeah, I thought she was going to put up a good fight, but not really. No, no. But we don't see any killing, nothing. He just throws the jaw on the floor. It's.
He actually puts a gold tooth in.
He puts a gold tooth in, but then the next scene it's
It's
not
not
there.
there. He also goes after Lisa at this point, which sucks.
Yeah.
He randomly goes after Lisa and kills her by, again, he just punches into her chest. She survives long enough. She sets him on fire. She does all this stuff in her house. But he just punches into her chest off screen,
That
and she
was
just dies from it.
upsetting because I wanted her to make it. I mean, I wanted her more to make it than Emily, and Emily's the lead.
Yeah. And you think that he's going to stay around for everybody to show up. But no, he leaves.
Yeah.
He randomly just constantly leaves and lets people find things. So the gang find Lisa dead, but they also discovered that the treasure chest constantly makes gold every time you shut it.
Yeah, so that's new because
Yeah.
that was never a thing with the pot of gold in the other movies. He always was missing one shilling and he needed that shilling, so that's where he would go after the person that stole the gold, you know? But in this, they just change everything. They just, like we've never seen any of the other movies. None of them go together.
Yeah. But really funny in this part, this is where we find out that now Lisa is murdered in the bathroom. Rory's like, holy shit, guys, we have even more money. Let's just get out of here and go to Mexico. And everybody else is like, no, we're not. We're in for the money. Lisa's dead. We're messed up about it. Rightfully so.
They didn't even call the police.
They don't do anything about it.
Nothing.
In fact, instead of doing anything or even worrying or even talking about their feelings right now, Rory notices that Emily still has their prom photo up.
Oh my god, okay, so that
Apparently-
just goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
Apparently, they went to prom together, and he goes, I can't believe you still have that up. And she says, well, it was only 4 months ago.
Yeah, so we're supposed to believe that these two human beings are, 18, 19 years old. They had just graduated from high school, and that is why she wants to go to college. Meanwhile, he's gone from 4 months ago being in high school to being this a high-rolling drug dealer, and they both look like they're 35.
Yeah, and they have their own places. Lisa and Emily live in a place together.
No
apparently.
mention of parents, no mention of anything like that, and we're supposed to believe they went to prom 4 months ago.
4 months ago.
A
A lot has happened in 4 months.
No, this is just another thing that they did not need to put in there because it makes the writers look really stupid.
Yeah. And also, Lisa's dead in the bathroom.
Yep.
I have to point it out.
They never called the police to come take
They're
her.
talking about their prom 4 months ago
Yeah.
while Lisa is murdered in the bathroom. Well, they now figure out, hey, it's a leprechaun. We have to stop a leprechaun. They go to the psychic, and she, of course, has everything ready for her.
This is my favorite scene in the movie because this psychic, in these, it's like a trope. It's like a horror trope that there's always one person that knows everything. That knows the lore, knows everything that there is to know. And this lady knows everything.
She knows everything about it. And she also suggests, hey, you guys got, clovers. So they melt down all of his clover weed.
Clover weed.
And they make bullets. And they put the clovers in the tips of the bullets for his brand new gun.
I mean, it is smart, but can I ask you something? So this he's a drug dealer, Rory. He's a drug dealer, so he has that gun that he bought with the money. He has a fancy gun. Now, he made a point to say, oh, we can put the clovers in the bullets. And the girl, Emily, is like, how do you do that? And he says, hollow tip. So he had these basically exploding bullets in a gun.
Of course.
I mean, it just seemed like, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
And he doesn't use it on any of the tracksuit wearing thugs that, have it in for him at all. He doesn't. He hits them with a bat. It's like.
But don't worry, they're coming back, those tracksuit guys. They're coming back, and actually in this scene, because the leprechaun now randomly finds them in the shop, and he puts the bullets in, but they're not able to use the gun because he attacks them all. And what happens is I actually think a lot of stuff happened before this scene, and I'm probably mixing it up in order, but it doesn't really fucking matter. He attacks them, and we find out that the psychic has powers, and they have a power off.
Oh my god.
His eyes go red, her eyes go blue, but his powers are too good, and so naturally off scene, while Emily and Rory are able to escape, Jamie is hit in the kneecap with a baseball bat and is out. I don't know what's going on. He's just laying on the floor while the psychic is being killed off screen.
It's always off screen.
It's always off screen. And it makes them go after him. They run, and they run into the gangsters. And they basically ask for help, and that's when the leprechaun comes after them. He kills the head of the gang first he gets a phone call on a house phone. I think it's supposed to be a mobile phone, but it's straight up a house phone. It's
a house phone.
Yeah, and I don't really understand that. He gets a call from his girlfriend, and it's supposed to be really funny. I don't know. Anyways, he punches in the leprechaun for about good 5 minutes.
You hit like a wheelhouse.
Yeah? Okay, motherfucker.
And you just keep seeing the leprechaun flying into a bunch of trash over and over and over. And it's like that Jason Takes Manhattan scene where he's getting tired from all the punching.
You even said it.
Yeah, he's getting tired from all the punching. And this is where the leprechaun, you think, oh, he's going to knock his block off just like in Jason Manhattan.
Yeah, I was hoping.
Instead, no, he just punches through his gut again.
And he takes his
just
heart out.
Another punch of the gut.
He takes his heart out though, and he squeezes it, and it's like squirting blood everywhere, and you can see his homies are like completely terrified and horrified by this, and they just start unloading on him. Unloading. But the best thing about it is like you never see any bullet holes on the leprechaun at all.
In this scene you do. There's it's like a rag doll flying.
Right, he's flying around, but I don't recall seeing any actual bullet holes. I was like, wait, is this the magic coming in at the 11th hour in this movie? But no.
I believe you do. I kind of remember seeing bullets flying through him, like him blood shooting all over him. And he was like, doing that whole thing where he's shaking. Yeah. It doesn't matter because Rory and Emily have stole the car, which is the lowrider hydraulic jumping car, and they go down the street, and now the leprechaun is just randomly on the bottom of the car.
Well, she ran him over. She thought that she actually ran him over, but when she looks in the rearview mirror, he wasn't there. And so I'm like, okay, he's underneath this car, and then they show him underneath the car. He's
in a CG background. The whole back, everything in the shot is bad. CG.
Oh my god!
And we can see they put a doll under the lowrider, and so every time it's jumping,
oh my god, it's so bad.
Jumping there. So you can see the doll shaking it on the bottom of it. It is terrible. He's punching through, and they get him off, but then they drive to when it's daytime, and naturally they pass the cops. And the cops pull them over, and they're like, "Look, there's someone chasing us. Someone's coming for us." And they're like, "Shut up!" And of course, they're nasty, and they find their gold, and they're like, "Oh, we want the gold for ourselves." But they both sense instantly that a small leprechaun is walking toward them because they look off shot, and then you see in the distance the leprechaun just walking naturally at them.
It's so
casual. Wait. Yeah, they wait, and they go, "Who the hell is this?"
What the fuck are you? Little early for Halloween, ain't we?
They have me gold.
Oh, it's your gold. Of course, you're a leprechaun, so we'll just hand it over to you.
I'd appreciate it.
Why don't you go home to your mama?
Well, the leprechaun's like, "That's my gold," and naturally they go to beat him up, but he beats them up. He uses like a bat again, and he's hitting people in the knees constantly so they fall, and he can hit them. And one cop goes to kick him, but he grabs him by the leg and swings him against a car, and we see that he has ripped off the cop's leg.
It's amazing. So this scene, he literally takes at least 30 seconds to realize that he has lost his leg.
Yeah, and they siege in the little stump.
Oh my god. This is so ridiculous. And then he starts hopping towards the leprechaun like he's going to do something with no leg, and then he just falls over.
Give that back!
It was so stupid. I was like, wait a minute. Why are you guys wasting all these, possible kills and all this possible gore on this trash? Like, there's literally no gore in this movie at all. I was so, like, by midway, I was like, all right, we're not going to get any gore. So I was accepting of it at that point.
Well, Emily grabs the cop shotgun and unloads at least 20 bullets into the leprechaun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
he's okay.
Yeah, it pretty much jumps to nighttime at this point. Again, if I'm not wrong, I'm sure there was probably another scene of them talking or riding somewhere, but the leprechaun just keeps finding them because they go back to the construction site and they go into a building that's nearby and they have a fight with the leprechaun.
Yep.
And the leprechaun, all of it is very odd. He, again, uses a bat to hit Rory's knee to make him fall down, and he kicks his ass. Because he's like, the reason I said that before is he's not punching him in the face by, like, whatever. He's kind of jumping at them or hitting their knees and making them fall and then beating the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And that's how they get around that. He like cripples Rory's leg. I don't even know like how he gets up, but for some reason he never kills Rory, and he also never punches through anybody. And when it comes to these two, he never kills them, which is so easy for him.
Yeah, he could just like put his hand through their chest and end it.
And he always constantly leaves Rory to go try to kill Emily. Emily like throws his gold over the thing, and now I thought he was gonna run at his gold because he says my babies or my whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to run off because we can see that the gold is falling into cement.
They're like on a rooftop.
Which makes no fucking sense.
No.
They're at the construction site that is abandoned.
Yeah, so no one would be working there.
Who put down brand new concrete at night?
Right. No one would be working there. This thing has been abandoned for years. Why would there be fresh cement?
There's a lot of that in this scene. I don't even know what's happening, but
they didn't know how to what else to do.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't care about his gold enough to go after or to save it. He just keeps going, I'll get you. I'm going to go after you.
Yeah, but why would he even care? Because that chest of gold keeps, like, it regenerates the gold.
Yeah, again, that doesn't make any sense either. And also, the bullets with the clovers, they try to shoot him. And every time they shoot him with the clovers, he's like, damn clovers. Yellow lights come out of him?
It looks like fireflies.
Yeah, fireflies come out, and then he just gets okay.
Yeah.
I didn't understand this at all.
It's like pieces of the clover went in him, and it's like it's hurting like his powers or whatever.
Yeah,
but then,
it looks like shillings are coming out of him.
Yeah, but then it just goes right back inside him, and he's okay.
Exactly.
So I'm like, I don't understand.
And the gun jams, so I can't keep shooting him, and that's like a plot point, but he just gets better. It doesn't like do anything to him. It makes him pause for a minute and be like, clovers, that sucks.
Because Rory cut up the clover, and he made several shards of it and put it in multiple bullets instead of just putting it in one and ending it. I don't understand.
No, they made an entire clip
Yeah.
of him, and that's a lot. And it doesn't seem to affect him, and now Rory's out, and the gun's jammed, so naturally she goes running. And now remember, they were on a rooftop. Now they're at the basement.
Yeah, I got nothing.
She takes like an elevator, and he's like trying to reach for her through the elevator, and I can swear she goes up.
No, she was going down. She was, because he jumps on top of the elevator as it's going down, and falls through the elevator and starts beating the shit out of her. The elevator.
So she does go to the basement.
Yeah.
The elevator goes all the way down to the basement, and there's a working furnace.
Yeah.
Now I was like, again, where are they?
Now how? Okay, first of all, the elevator in this whatever decrepit building works. Okay, so there's that. that's ridiculous piece of whatever, number one. But then they get to the basement of whatever building this is that's been not in use for how many years.
Yeah.
And the whole project's been abandoned, but the furnace is working.
Yeah, and it's like a freight elevator. And there's a working furnace in the basement, and the elevator brings them right to the furnace. Like, I don't know what place this is, but a kid could get in this thing and just go right to a working furnace.
But why is this building even operational? It's a disaster.
It's odd. It's so odd. It's like Freddy Krueger's
boiler
base
room.
of operations.
It is. It's like Freddy's boiler room.
And my favorite bit of this is that Emily just grabs the door of the furnace like it's nothing and opens it up and throws the gold in there. Yeah. And then I thought he was going to allow, because he like freaks out that his gold was thrown in there. I thought he was going to jump in. He doesn't. And actually, I think he's about to, but she stops him and starts beating him up.
Yeah, she starts kicking his ass.
I didn't understand. I was like, I love that she touched the furnace with her hand. When I was a kid, I ran past a water heater in New York, and I burnt myself so bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, touching a furnace?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
holy
it's fine.
shit.
You can
And
do
she
it
does,
anytime.
She touches it a lot.
Uh-huh.
The leprechaun pushes her head toward the fire, and her hair does not go on fire, which is hilarious. And she is not dying.
It
she
must
is
be
not
like 3,000
boiling.
degrees in there, and she's fine.
She's fine. She's able to throw him into the fire, which he actually starts saying the quote from Wizard of Oz. He's like,
I'm melting.
"Yeah, I'm melting," which is like weird.
Like, okay, this is supposed to be funny because it's not.
It's not, and he doesn't like even finish it, which would have been funny. But he reaches through the furnace. She's got her back and fucking head against the furnace door, and she's able to take the lock and close the lock with her bare hands with a working furnace.
Yeah, her skull was literally resting on this furnace with the flames coming through it. I was like, oh my god, you guys, come on.
You think this is it, right? And again, I don't know how it's not, but she goes back up to the roof and she gets Rory and he's like, oh, where is he? She's like, he's dead. And he's like, how did you get the gun to work? And she's like, what? And then that's when you realize, wait a minute, they didn't shoot him with the clovers. That's the only way to beat him, apparently. Yeah. And then he is. He's on the roof and he's like, I'm back.
His clothes are a little singed.
And he's like, I got my gold. I'm back. Yeah. And I don't know why he even cares.
Why does he care?
And okay. Now this is even crazier. They get the gun to work. The leprechaun like basically knocks Emily off the building and she's holding onto the roof with her hands. And of course the background is CG background again.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
It's so terrible. And she's like hanging toward the cement down below that the shillings fell in. Somehow he starts trying to get her instead of going after Rory, who's right behind her. Mm-hmm. He shoots him again with a bunch of the bullets, and he's like doing that thing again where he's like,
his essence is coming out.
I'm okay. And then they knock him off the building, and he falls into the concrete.
Which he could easily get out of.
Well, apparently, yes. That's my point. I don't understand this. And he's dead, guys. That's it. The leprechaun is dead. They tell us that they beat him. Now, I thought, one, he's going to crawl out of it and freeze into that statue form that he was in the other movies.
Mm-hmm, which would have made some sense.
Yeah. And maybe that psychic would be still alive and then put the necklace on him.
Yeah.
And maybe that would make sense to one of the other movies, and maybe this was a prequel or something. Instead, no, they just said they beat him. He's in the concrete.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, how is this beating him? He just came he beamed out of the furnace.
Yeah. He got out of there.
If fire doesn't stop him, why would concrete?
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
And there's also a lock on the furnace too. She put the thing in front of it.
He beamed out of it.
So he was able to get out. Now he can't get out of the concrete.
I don't understand it.
It's like he just gave up.
And you think there's gonna be maybe a stinger, like, oh, at the end before the credits he's gonna jump up and it's gonna be like he won or whatever. Mm-hmm. No, we have to watch. This is so weird. We watch them, Emily. Now remember, his kneecap is crippled.
Yeah.
They're just on a motorcycle and they're driving. They're fine.
They're fine.
Everything's great. He's fine. And then we have to watch them at the basketball court where now Jamie is back and he's playing with the kids at the basketball court. And we have to watch these two just make out.
Yeah, now this is a scene that I'm assuming they actually helped open that youth center. They finally opened it.
Oh, is that what there is? But
that's what I think they were saying, because it was there was a sign there that said youth center, and they were playing basketball there.
So you're saying this is way in the future.
In the future, yeah.
And they're playing above his concreted body.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. 100%.
Oh, but he was wearing the same clothes.
No, he wasn't.
Really?
Yeah, no, that was way later. It's
Emily
way later.
gave up going to college.
Yep, she sure did.
To be with a drug dealer.
Yeah, yeah.
And no one's going to go to her apartment and find her dead friend or her job and see her dead client.
Yeah, no, none of that matters. We're good. She's back in the hood with her boyfriend.
How did they open up the youth center?
Well, we're to assume that they still had some of that money because it kept regenerating in the...
But there's no way they could have had that money. Because they dumped it on the floor in the house?
Yeah. And also, in the case, it kept regenerating. It was endless shillings.
Yeah, but they threw it in the concrete.
Not all of it.
The whole chest.
I got nothing. The only thing I can think of is that they had they had money from when they sparingly gave it all, they all separated it and shared it, that somebody had money left over. I mean, Lisa wasn't spending a lot.
Did. I don't understand this.
I'm trying here.
This movie, it sucks so bad. This movie was bad. Like,
I mean, Warwick Davis gave up at the end of this, and I did too. I was like, I just can't. This is the worst of them.
It's so bad that we can't even talk about him. Like, we're just mentioning him. Nothing. He doesn't do anything.
He doesn't do anything funny. He has no funny one-liners like in the Leprechaun in the Hood. Or Part 3.
I can't believe him as an actor. He didn't say to them, "We should make it funny."
Like, there was no, like, he knew this is his last one, so he should have been like, "Oh, all right, let's go out with a bang here. Let's just go all out." And no, there was none of that. There was nothing. There was no funny one-liners at all.
That's so nuts. Can I tell you a weird thing? Again, I don't know how much I trust the IMDb trivia. I know that people put fake shit, and I have fallen for it sometimes.
That makes me mad.
Yeah,
but,
one of the craziest trivias on there, I cannot believe. I have to research this. I don't know if it's true, but I just got to talk about it. Apparently, Tony Todd was approached to do a crossover with the Leprechaun.
What do you mean, like Candyman?
Candyman versus Leprechaun.
Get the fuck out.
And he said no, and so they scrapped the whole thing. That they wanted to do it to verse Freddy versus Jason.
Candyman versus a Leprechaun?
Which I don't even know why or how that would make sense.
Yeah, how would that even be a thing?
I have no idea. I just thought that trivia was so funny. I'm like, can you imagine a world where we got Leprechaun versus Candyman and what that movie could have been? And what the fuck with it? I mean, maybe because they're saying it's the Hood? And that's why the Candyman is maybe?
Okay, I can understand because Candyman does take place in that sort of world, but I
just can't imagine shillings and bees.
I want to say that Tony Todd would definitely make that movie better if they did that.
Oh, well, Tony Todd brings something to everything he does.
He's a treasure, but
yeah, this movie though, I mean, I don't even know how to speak about it because it pisses me off so bad. I was watching this just laughing about every bad thing that they chose to do in this film. Like all the bad choices.
Yeah, there was a lot of it.
And it sucks because they had the blueprint with the last one. It's so easy to replicate it.
That's what I was asking you. Like, what, is the writer the same? It can't be because there's no way. I mean, it had none of the appeal and the, just the hilarity of the last one. None of that. Not even a fraction.
When we did the last one, we were looking at like maybe reviews and like comments from other people, and I saw a lot of people complaining about how they didn't laugh with that last one, and how oh, it's just so over the top, and it is like stereotypical in a way that's a problem. But I'm like, it's parody.
Yes,
and that's what's fun about
they knew what they were doing. In this, they didn't. They just didn't even try. They were just like, all right, we're just going to make this movie and just move on with our lives. It wasn't even like they had any pride in it. Like, if you're going to have some pride in your movie, make it jokey, make it, do you think Ice-T did Leprechaun in the Hood because he thought it was going to be an Oscar-worthy performance? No, he probably was like, oh, this is going to be a fun role to play. And guess what? That movie was a hoot.
Who do you play?
Mac Daddy Onassis? Oh my god.
Yes. Yeah. I mean Coolio did show up in the last one.
I mean, oh god. Thank you.
But this movie pissed me off. Now, like, man, my question to you right now is this the worst of the franchise?
Yes.
Is it 1 and 2 are better?
Yeah.
And also Space.
Yes. I was thinking about this the whole time when I was watching this. Yes.
I wanted to rank it because now that we've watched all of them, this is our, like, now it's recorded in history. This is our recorded of the Leprechaun franchise, the order of the way from worst to the best.
Yeah.
The worst being this movie, number 6. What is the next one, though? Do you think that Space is the next worst, or is it 1 and 2?
All right, well, I did not care much for the first one. Was Jennifer Aniston.
Was that? I think that might be better than 2. 2 is really bad.
2 is very bad, yes. I think 1 is better than 2.
Yeah, I do too.
But this one was just hot trash. I mean, there was just nothing here. I had nothing. There was no laugh. There was no, just like any funny moments or dialogue or anything. There's just not even any cheap kills. It was really crap. Everything was off screen. And I gotta tell you something. I only liked really 2 people in this one, and I wasn't even gonna be upset.
Not even enough. We were when Lisa died. We kind of went,
oh. But I was like, okay, we're moving on.
So why couldn't she be the main character?
Yeah, but it didn't change anything for me.
And we're seeing the best of the franchise is Vegas.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
3 is the best. Second best is
5.
Is the Hood.
Yeah.
And then it goes down from there.
And this is the worst. This is absolutely the
How
worst.
nuts is that?
It's a shit show.
And so we're giving this what, 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a 2. Back to the Hood.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And let me say that, like, we're saying it's not the worst movie ever made.
No.
It's close. And so on our list of the movies that are we've been ranking, and this would be number 28 of our list that we've done so far. Is this worse than Barbarella or better?
Oh, God. Barbarella was a sack of shit. I hated it.
Would you rather watch Barbarella again or this?
Yeah, I'd rather watch Barbarella again.
I think so, too. And Toxic Avenger 2? This or that?
Toxie.
Wow. Okay.
I'd rather watch Toxie again.
But to be fair, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, we gave it 1 star, and we're giving this a 2. Would you rather watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation again?
No.
Okay.
No, I hate that movie. I hate it.
Okay, number 3 on our list is Leprechaun Back in the Hood.
Oh my God. All right.
You know what that means is the Christmas tree is at number 10.
The Christmas tree.
It's almost off the top.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. Well, that brings us to our segment, Why We Can't Have Nice Things, where I show you 2 extremes of online reviews and how the internet destroys the movie rating system. So I am going to give you one 1-star review and then one 10-star review for Leprechaun Back to the Hood. We're going to start with a 1. Okay. Odd, but not as bad as the other sequels. I have to admit, I wasn't really looking forward to seeing this latest installment of the Leprechaun series, but as much as I love them, I just had to. After seeing Leprechaun in Space and Leprechaun in the Hood, I was absolutely sure that this one would be just as horrible. Luckily, I was wrong. I still think going back to the hood was a bad idea. Luckily, it seems they went back to the original Leprechaun style. More humor. I laughed so hard at the whole ninja scene, and especially when the Leprechaun got to smoke his first bong. My final opinion is that there should have been more gore, violence, and it shouldn't have been in the hood. Other than that, it's really not that bad of a sequel.
Whoa. He gave it a 1, though.
But you gave it a 1.
Which, I mean, that means, like, he gave the others a 0? Is that what he's suggesting?
That's what he suggested.
And why is he enjoying that he smoked his first bong in the sequel when in the first one he's smoking pot the whole time, which is much funnier.
Yeah, and he made a funny one-liner
when he was doing one-liners. Like,
so
why would... I'm shocked. I thought this guy was going to sell me on the 1 and why it should be a 1.
No.
But he didn't.
There's no rhyme or reason to this review
He
at all.
actually made me feel better about giving it a 2.
He's called the Angry Vegetarian.
Interesting.
If I was an angry vegetarian, why are you angry? I don't understand.
That's a good question. Maybe he's angry that he has to be a vegetarian.
Huh. All right. Well, anyway, this review doesn't make any sort of sense at all. I mean, you're giving it a 1, but then you're saying it's not really that bad.
I mean, a 1 on IMDb is a 0. So,
yeah.
At the end of the day, it means he's giving them all 0s.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Jesus.
This review is all over the place. I don't understand how to make heads or tails of it.
I want to talk to people who really like the Leprechaun films and ask them why, especially the first 2. Like, they're terrible. Like, I mean, I could not believe how boring they were and unfunny.
Straight up boring, yeah.
And how much I hated the acting.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, I'm shocked that people enjoy those. So,
well, then you got people like this.
Yeah,
10 out of 10.
It's got to be a joke.
I mean, it was hard to find a 10.
I'm shocked you're even reading one.
Yeah, it was hard to find a 10 out of 10 that I can actually read. But this is a true work of art.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that this movie had 5 that came before it should tell you that all of these films are a piece of cinematic art. I found all the dialogue enlightening and deep. The way the director told the story was truly delightful. I suggest every person watch this film. Okay. Now, that's just somebody who was told to write a review because they probably work for the studio.
These are people who think it's really funny to do these 10-star reviews.
It's not.
It's not funny. It's stupid. I was hoping that you weren't going to read a 10. You were going to read like the next closest to a 10, like a 7. Like, I can't imagine anybody giving this a 10. It is a straight face with a straight face.
I mean,
everybody
I'm
knows.
Pretty sure that even the 7s would be ridiculous.
You know, out of the huge horror franchises, because I believe there's 8 of these movies in total. I don't know if there's a 9th one now.
Yeah, because they rebooted or whatever.
Rebooted. There's like Origins and Returns.
Yes, where it's not Warwick. He's done.
Yeah, he's not in it. And I actually remember watching Returns and liking it. So that's kind of shocking. But as franchises go, of the horror franchises we've seen, this is probably one of the worst.
I will definitely agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to judge it against the Puppet Master films when there's like 30 of those damn things, but
they're all entertaining.
At least I kind of enjoy the lore in some of those movies, and there's some stuff in there that's interesting.
Yes.
And the puppets themselves are amazing. We're just going to watch it for them. But
for sure.
This is a low one for me on horror movies.
It's a franchise that has the least amount of liked movies in the entire franchise.
Yeah. And when we say liked, none of them are like a 6.
No.
We've given everything a 5 under. Under a 5.
There's nothing above a 5.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No. Isn't that crazy? Like watching all these films that a long-running franchise like this, and not even one of them having a 6 is kind of shocking.
But they just kept making them. But here's the thing, if you were consistent and you kept, with the same funny one-liners, the rhyming, the
You could have
good
had another
kills,
classic.
you could have had a great franchise here. But you done fucked that up.
Yeah.
I mean, you keep hiring, these people that just don't give a shit about this franchise at all. It's just a paycheck to them. But poor Warwick Davis, who's trying to give it his all, he's been involved in 6 of these godforsaken movies. I mean, at least show the guy some respect. Write him something.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just surprised that they didn't want to follow any kind of actual lore.
No.
It would have helped it. It really would have worked in its favor. And I wish this movie series was taken over by Mancini, who does the Chucky films.
Oh, yeah, my guy.
Because he understands it, and he would have done something with his character.
I agree with that. I think he would have. I think he would have embraced it, and I think he would have brought it back to what it's supposed to be, instead of just, all this, muddling up the waters. And
yeah. Even Davis himself has said that he always wished that he could do it. He wanted to come back, and he said he always wished that he would have had a bride. And there would have been a one where you found out that he goes home at the end of the day, and he find out that he's actually married.
That would have been hysterical.
And then his wife is even worse than he is.
That would have been hysterical.
And it made me think of Tiffany. And I was like, that's a funny idea. Yeah. That would have been a lot of fun, that he's actually scared of his wife. And that could have been really funny.
Yeah.
They could have done stuff with that. They could have had a child. There could have been a child leprechaun. They could have done so many things if they played it properly. And that's what I think the Chucky movies have done. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I enjoy those movies so much. That's why I get mad when people talk shit about the Chucky films. I'm like, they have evolved in a way that no other series of movies have evolved. They have a lore, an entire thing, and he keeps making it work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who else has done that?
That's why I'm obsessed. Yeah, it's the best.
It's kind of mind blowing, and it's also something I appreciate. I like, even the Friday the 13th movies try to keep doing new lore and trying to make it make sense. People got mad about it because it's not the same old. That's exactly what these films are. I'm guessing the people who love these Leprechaun films. And that's not for me.
No.
I'm a big lore person. Love it.
I will say there is one franchise that I will put, I'm going to say, on the same page as this, and that is the Phantasm series. I know I'm going to lose my horror card, and all you guys are going to bitch me out.
That's another one.
But
I
can't do it.
We have tried, and I actually enjoy some of it. There's things about it. Some of them I like. I like the dream stuff, the music, the idea of the spheres, the tall man. There are some things. But my God, that series is a fucking mess.
I saw through every goddamn movie.
I couldn't even do it. I fell asleep. I could not keep awake.
There was no way I wasn't going to get through every single movie, because I needed to just try and give it everything I had. And I did. I put in my time. And that motherfucker let me down. I am not a Phantasm person. I'm sorry. This franchise is up there with that shit. It is. It really is.
Yeah, that's a good call. I know that a lot of people love it, so it's kind of like hard to talk shit. But
no, not hard at all.
It is. You're a different person than I am. I will give everything a little bit of credit, and even this Leprechaun series, as much as I hate it, I don't hate it. I found stuff that I enjoyed. I know exactly what makes it work for me.
Yeah.
And I wanted more of that. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, I didn't get it, and that's why I'm talking shit about it. But we're so close to being what we wanted.
Yep,
so
that's the way,
close.
exactly the way I feel about the Phantasm series. I did like Reggie. I like the character of Reggie.
Yes,
I like everything about him. However, there was too much wrong with the whole thing for me. And I did give it a chance. I did. So you can't say I didn't. I had the whole box set, and I watched the goddamn thing. And I can't.
All right, before you go way too off on that, let's stop it here and just say, we give up.
Lep in the hood, up to no good.
That's right.
Just no good. How about that?
Yeah, please. No good.
No good.
I mean, we gave it our best shot. We did as much as we could do, and we were throwing in the towel. The Leprechaun franchise is done. Squashed it. We're out of here.
Done. Well, can I make the announcement about April?
Sure.
So April's my birthday month, and I was allowed to pick our movies And we are doing Roger Corman. So I am stoked about that because we love Roger Corman in this house. And we're going to be doing some of his films that I handpicked myself.
What's cool about that is we're actually going to do a movie from every decade.
Yes, we are.
So I'm hoping for the best because we picked movies we have never seen from Roger Corman, and the man is a legend of schlock, and so we might be in for trouble again.
You know, I don't care. He's a national treasure. We love him. We got to see him at Joe Bob's Jamboree. He was so cute. And I'm going to watch Roger Corman movies for my birthday month, and I'm going to be happy about it.
All right. So, yeah, please join us for that. And thank you guys for listening. We are on Instagram at Just Another Movie Night, and Joe is at The Crafty Misfit making some fun things. Go check it out. And again, we appreciate you. Have a good one. And don't watch the Leprechaun films, please.
Oh, getting tired, are we?